Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you all are fine. So, students, we are doing our chapter number 9, which is financial management. So, this is the last part of this chapter. Okay, chapter number 5 and part 4th. So, financial management. What do you understand by the financial management? Student, financial management means when we manage our finance. How can we manage? Means it involves some decisions which is related to managing finance, like financing decision, like a dividend decision and investing decision. So in this video we are going to continue the capital structure, means how can we form a capital. So how can we raise the capital? From two ways. Number one, by issuing equity, and number two, by debentures or debt, means borrowings. Okay, so what is the capital structure means? The capital structure is that the structure which explain us that what amount of equity, what are the number of the equity shares which we have to issue, and what ratio of the debenture and the debt we have to raise. Now, what is capital structure? Combination of capital is called capital structure. The firm may use only equity or only debt, or a combination of equity plus debenture, means whether a company borrow money or raise their money from the equity, only for by the equity and only by the debt, or as well with the combination like equity plus debt, or a combination of equity plus debt plus preference shares, or may use other similar combinations. So let's discuss now. Here, what is the capital structure means? Debt and equity. The combination of debt and equity is known as a good combination. Now, what is the optimum structure of the capital for the company, for any company? The optimum structure of the firm is often defined as the proportion of debt and equity that result in the lowest weighted average cost of the capital, means which give us the average cost of the capital, means while when we raise fund from any debt or equity. So the combination of that means the proportion of both of the debt and equity which give us the lowest earning per share, or high earning per share but lowest cost of capital. That means it is a good combination. Okay, the optimum structure of the firm will decide whether it needs more debt or equity, and the new capital issue to be used to invest in the new asset or to repurchase of outstanding debt or equity. Okay, now what are the factors which affect while we choose the capital structure? Look student, all the factors are similar, means the basis, the points of the factors are similar. If we talk about the equity, if we talk about the debentures, if we talk about the financial decision, anything. Okay, the number one is cash flow of the position. Look students, if the cash flow position of our company is good, then what we have to do, we goes to the debenture, we borrow because we are having a position to pay back. Okay, means we stress more on the debenture and less on the equity. Next one is return on investment. If we think or if we analyze, the return of investment is more on the debenture as we compare to the equity, or we compare that the return on investment is more on the equity rather than the debenture, so we choose according to that. So this is the another factor which affect the capital structure. Next one is interest coverage ratio. The interest coverage ratio, if we borrow money from the debenture, of if we issue debenture, then what we have to do, we have to pay back or give back the interest on the debenture. But if our borrowings are also there, means another borrowings are there, like if the company borrow some money from the bank or any other financial institution, then the fixed ratio of interest that we have to give, okay, and that is fixed, that which we have to give. But if we stress more on the debenture, then our interest ratio is also increases. So if the if it is possible that the interest ratio is lower, then we go to the debenture, otherwise we go to the equity. Next is cost of debt. If the cost of debt is lower, then we issue debenture. If the cost of debt is higher, then we move to the equity. Next one is tax rate. So student, if before dividing the or distributing the shares, we have what we have to do, we have to pay tax on the dividend, okay. So after paying the tax on the dividend, then we have to distribute all the profit, all the dividend to the shareholder. So if the tax rate is more, then it is not profitable to raise money from the equity. Debenture is more favorable. Next one is cost of equity. If the cost of equity is not much higher, then we go to the cost of equity. If it is low, it is beneficial. Next one is stock market condition. Then what is the stock market condition? If it is a phase of inflation or a deflation, if it is a phase of deflation, then the market goes down and the shares are also goes down, that then it is not profitable to raise money from the shares, okay. Next one is flotation cost. Flotation cost means some cost which we have to pay if we issue debenture or any security. So if we compare that whose flotation cost, like if we issue equity share, then what we have to do, we have to what is that called, performer. We have to do some formalities, some paperwork, which is also um, very costly. So which cost is lower, we move to that. Next one is control. If we think about the control consideration, then we have to move to the debentures, because if the company issue all the shares, then its control is also diluted. Next one is risk consideration. Risk, which is more riskier, then we have to stay away to that situation. So less risky transaction we want. So risk consideration is also matters. Now look students, this financial leverage is similar like a, or we can say that it is a part of capital structure. That leverage tell us that what is the ratio of equity, what is the ratio or what is the part of the debt from all the equity of a company, means overall equity, what is the ratio of or what is the part of debt is called financial leverage. Now let's take an example to understand that which proportion means which situation is better of a company, if we borrow debenture, or if we do not borrow in debenture, or what, okay. So student, have a look to that example. The total fund used is 30 lakhs, rate of interest is 10%, tax rate is 30%. In EBIT means earning before paying interest and tax is equal to 4 lakhs. Debenture, there are three situations of a company X. In first situation, debenture is nil. Second situation, debenture is 10 lakh, and third situation, debenture is 20 lakh. So student, we make a chart like this or a column like this, that situation 1, 2 and 3, interest before earning before interest. And look student, if we earn, after that we have to pay interest and tax also. After that what we get our profit, okay. So first of all, we have to write the EBIT, means earning before interest and tax, which is given 4 lakh, 4 lakh, 4 lakh. Now what we have to do, we have to pay interest on which we have to on which we have to pay interest? On debenture. On first situation there is no debenture, so their interest is nil. Now on second situation, debenture is 10 lakh, so the rate of interest of debenture is 10%. The 10% of 10 lakh is equal to 1 lakh, so we have to write here 1 lakh. Now second one is 4 second is again 10% of 20 lakh 20%, sorry, 10% of 20 lakh, because the number of debenture or the debenture is of are 20 lakh rupees, so that rate of interest is also 10%, so the interest is 2 lakh. Now what we do, we have to deduct this interest from the EBIT. In first situation no interest, that means 4 lakh. In second situation 3 lakh, and in third situation it is 2 lakh. After deducting the money is there 4 lakh, 3 lakh and 2 lakh. Now what we have to do, we have to pay tax on dividend. So what is the tax rate? Tax rate is 30%. So EBT means earning before tax. Now what we pay tax, we have paid interest, we deduct the amount of interest. Now what we have to do, we have to pay tax. So 30% of 4 lakh is equal to 120 lakh. 30% of, because 30% tax rate is given, okay, 30% of 3 lakh is 90,000 and 30% of 2 lakh is 60,000. Now what we next step is to deduct this amount, and after deducting this amount our answer is 2 lakh 80,000, 2 lakh 10 lakh and 1 lakh 40,000. Okay, now understood, or this is the earning after paying interest and taxes. Now number of share of rupees 10. Now what we have to calculate, the number of share, because we know that the each share is of rupees 10. Now we have to calculate, what we have to calculate, equity. But we are having the total fund which is a combination of two, equity and debenture. Now what we have to do, we have to calculate the equity. So this is the calculation of number of share. In situation fund, total debt is equal to 30 lakh and debenture is in a first situation is nil, and equity, so what is the equity here? Equity is 1 lakh, or in the second one, again in a situation fund, total fund is equal to debt plus equity. 30 lakh total fund, debenture nil, equity is equal to 30 lakh, means there is in a total fund there is no debenture, so whole amount is of what? 30 lakh. Now number of shares, how can we calculate the number of share? We know that the one share is of 10 rupees, so we divide the 30 lakh with the 10 rupees and we get the 3 lakh shares. So the issue of share in a first situation is 3 lakh. Now same as in a second situation, total fund is equal to debt plus equity. Total fund is 30 and debenture is 10 lakh, so equity is 20 lakh. Now number of each share is of the equity is 10, so number of share in a second situation is 2 lakh. Now third situation, in third situation total fund is equal to debenture and equity. Debenture is 20 lakh in third situation. Equity we have to calculate, so equity is 30 lakh minus 20 lakh, that means 10 lakh. Now the number of share, because we know that one share is of 10 rupees, the number of share is 1 lakh. Okay, so we get the number of share 3 lakh, 2 lakh and 1 lakh. So here you can see 3 lakh, 2 lakh and 1 lakh. Now what we have to calculate, we have to calculate the earning per share, because if we find out the earning per share, then we will know that whose situation is better. Okay, now we calculate the EPS, means earning per share. In situation 1, earning per share is equal to EAT, yani that means earning after tax upon number of share. Earning after tax is, in a first situation it is 2,80,000. So 2,80,000 upon 3 lakh is equal to 0.93 earning per share. So in first situation we will get the earning per share is 0.93. Same as in second situation, the earning after tax is 2,10,000. So 2,10,000 upon 2 lakh, because 2 lakh is our number of share which we have calculated. So earning per share is 1.05. Next one is in a third situation, same as 1,40,000. 1,40,000 divided by earning number of share which is 1 lakh. Now we will get the earning per share is 1.40. Look student, in a first situation we get the EPS means earning per share is 0.93. In second situation we get EPS 1.05. In a third situation we get 1.40. That means third situation is favorable, which means we use more debt. So if we use more debt, EPS is also increasing, means earning per share is also increasing. So have a look again, EPS 0.93, 1.05 and 1.40. That means third situation is better, which means if we borrow debenture also, means if we raise fund in a third situation like 20 lakh of debenture and 10 lakh, means 30 is the total fund, na? 10 lakh is equity, means if we borrow 10 lakh equity and 20 lakh debenture, this is very favorable and most suitable situation for the company for earning more profit, more earning per share. Okay, I hope you all have understood this example. So how can we like this we can calculate the earning per share, and we will know about the what amount of equity and debenture we have to raise. Now capital is a combination of two things, fixed capital and working capital. Means capital is of two types, fixed and current, or we can say that working. Student, fixed capital means the capital which we invest in a in this way, like in a plant and machinery, land and building, computer devices, means which life is long. Okay, so this is the fixed capital, and the amount like the example, the fixed capital refers to the investment made by the business for acquiring long term assets, which means when we invest our money for a long period of asset of a long period, which the asset which is having a long life, that means it is a fixed capital. Now what are the factors which affect the fixed capital? Like nature of business, scale of operation, choice of technique, technology upgradation, growth prospect and financing alternatives. Nature of the business. What are the factors which affect the fixed capital requirement? Nature of the business. If the nature of business is of trading, like trading of some small things, so it is not for a long period, it is for a seasonal product, so it is not profitable to invest for a fixed invest a fixed capital. Okay, scale of operation. If the scale of operation is large, then we have to invest in a fixed capital. Okay, or choice of technique. If the scale of operation is large and it is for a long period, means it is for a not for a seasonal, it is for daily basic need product, then we need a good technology. So we have to invest in the fixed capital. Okay, as a fixed capital we have to purchase technology. Next is technology upgradation, means if we want that our business runs for a long period, that means we need a technology upgradation, so we have to invest this. Growth prospect. If we think about the growth prospect, means if we think that our business grows as long as we need, that means we have to more invest in a fixed capital. Like if we open a branch of our business to the another state, so we have what we think about the growth prospect, so we have to invest as a fixed capital. Next is financing alternative. If the financing alternatives are there, okay, because for fixed asset more amount of money is required. If the financing alternative is there, so we have to borrow and invest to that. So these are the factors which affect fixed capital. Now next one is working capital. Working capital means if we invest our money for those assets which life is not more than 1 year. So what is this? This is called working capital, like cash collection, inventory and sale. Now working capital is that capital which involved in current asset of a business. Basically it is the capital which is required to meet the day to day expenses of a business. Okay, so working capital is that capital which is involved in the current asset of a business. Basically it is the capital which is required to meet the day to day expenses of the business. So there is also some factors which affect or influence the working capital required. Number one is nature of business. If the nature of business, like it is of a seasonal business, we have to do business for a short period of time, then it is beneficial to invest in that. Like size of business, if the size of business is small, so we have to invest in the as a working capital. Now working capital cycle, if the working cycle is frequent and it is necessary to the working capital to invest the money in that, so what to for the production process, for the processing process, it is very necessary. Next, the length of production of cycle. If the length of production of cycle is too long or too short, if the length of a production cycle is short, so we have to invest in a working capital. Seasonal operation, it is if the seasonal operation is there, then we have to think about the working capital requirement because it is for a short period. Same as in a business cycle, if the business cycle or for the trading purpose, look student, business cycle and seasonal operation both are same. Next is credit facility. If the credit facility is available there, then we have to avail capital from this credit facility or any policy, and then we have to invest in working capital. Next one is price level changes. If the price level changes, then we have to think about the working capital because working capital is of current asset, and if the price changes, then working capital is also affected. So student, your this chapter has been completed. Thank you, Sairam.